What up, y'all? It ain't all your fault. Healing mama trauma. We're not gonna be here for long today, but it is Mother's Day, and I wanted to just. I wasn't even gonna do a live today. I wasn't planning on doing a live today, but I did want to talk about this for a little bit. Somebody needs to hear this. This isn't a video for the numbers. This is a video for whoever needs to heal. All right, welcome chat room. I thank y'all for joining me. Also, for y'all who are here, if you want me to read some relationship dynamics between either you and your mom or you and your children, give me your birthday, give me the other person's birthday, and I'll do some quick reads on people that are about the trauma, about not just about trauma, just communication and things like that. For those of you who don't know, I am a certified cardologer. I know I do a lot of stuff, and y'all be trying to figure out what this channel's about. Don't try to figure out what this channel's about. Just enjoy the ride, because I'm a multifaceted person, and I don't feel like creating a whole bunch of different goddamn channels. So although I do have other channels, you getting it all from here, because I got a offline, very busy life, so I ain't about to be creating 16 different channels for all the things that I do. We do it all right here. But anyway, I'm a certified cardologer. I read playing cards. The same playing cards that you play poker with, go, I declare war, go fish, or whatever. These are not tarot cards, although the tarot system is similar. These are the no tricks, no gimmicks, just the same cards you've been playing with. So if you feel like I'm doing some spooky shit and you play spades, you do spooky shit too. But yeah, we're gonna talk about some relationship dynamics and all that good stuff. This is this is a show for us to sit back and heal with each other. You find me at breakthroughcards.com to book your session. Breakthroughcards.com. And also, salute to everybody that's on Patreon. Salute to all my Patreon members. Earlier today, we interviewed Dr. Logan Westbrooks on Patreon. The first black person at Capitol Records to head their black division. Also the man that was at CBS Records, and a lot of your moves that was made in the 70s, Dr. Westbrook was there for. So we break down how black music was colonized. Basically how CBS Records and their market share, and as great as they were, X a lot of people out. Because business is business, and we got into the business of music. And that interview is right now up on Patreon. Make sure you go ahead and look for all my Patreon subscribers. The lower tier, you will get, it'll come live to you later on tonight. For the live interview lounging up, it's live for you right now. The rest of the Patreon tiers will get the interview sometime tonight, maybe in the morning. Well, anyway, salute Mr. Salute Sinister, Stun, Shayla, everybody else is in here. LLC, Trap Vegan. Salute to all y'all. Like I said, today's not going to be too long of a show, but I do want to get this message out there. I have the subtitle down there, It Ain't Your Fault. It ain't all your fault. Although we all must take accountability, there are a lot of things that have happened to all of us. And as children, we are products of our environment. And our environment informs, by the time we're 8, generally speaking, once you're 8 and that you get in past the theta state into your earthly mind, your experiences 0 to 8 generally dictate how you confront the world the rest of your life, unless you've gone through and done some mental health therapy, some cleansing, things that your traumas, your experiences, your joys, your failures, your successes. By the time you're 8, you've sort of put that all together, and you now use that to inform how you face life and how you face what goes on in life. And this is all of us. If you notice, you look at a picture of a 5-year-old child and a picture of a 9-year-old child, they're almost always, look at your pictures from back in the day, they're almost always completely different photos between a child that's 5 and full of life, ready for the world, glowing, radiant, cheerful, joyful. Then by the time you're 8, 9, 10, the pictures go from that to that fake smile to you see the affect of children change in a big way around the age of 8. And that's due to your environment and where you are, your experiences in school, cousins, friends, families, people at church, and in large part, your parents. And a lot of y'all went through a lot of drama and trauma as children, because oftentimes you had parents that were healing through their own emotional traumas as they were raising you. And you got the brunt of that. Listen to me when I say you're not alone if you feel that way, all right? Now, full disclosure, I'm not about to sit here and act like I lived that experience. I have in some ways, because no matter how great our parents are to us, all of our parents still have certain traumas that they pass down to us. And I definitely lived the trauma of my parents in some ways. But I'm not about to sit here and act like I had a bad or a terrible childhood. My childhood was fucking wonderful in the house. I ain't gonna lie. My relationship with my mom, my dad, I was just with my parents a couple hours ago, but they kicked us to the curb to go to the casino. My mom called me. She was like, "You came by to visit," and we went to the casino. I was like, man, look, man, y'all in y'all golden years. Y'all better have a good time. Shit, I'll come back and see y'all tomorrow. But it is through my not being acutely traumatized from my parents and my 25 plus years working with children and people who were, that I'm able to see both sides of it. What it can look like versus what it does look like. And over my 25 plus years, I've helped mend a lot of relationships between parents and children, because me personally, I think a lot of that has to do with, I think me not being jaded helped with that. Not saying that people who've gone through those experiences can't do any less of a job than I've done over the years. But I still work with families. Like I got some consistent clients right now on my card reading that I work with mom and dad and to communicate better with their children, ongoing clients. I have a book of ongoing clients that I work with, not just marriages and relationships, but also relationships between parents and children. Because oftentimes even when I deal with relationships between parents and children, between husband and wife, 100% of the time, I dive into the family dynamics, the male's, the husband's relationship with his mom and his dad, the wife's relationship with her mom and dad, because your relationships with your parents play in your marriage, plays in your divorce, it plays into all of that. It plays in how you treat people. It plays into all that. So what I really want to say to you guys today is, don't, if you're having an issue with relationships, if you're having an issue with people in your life and not being able to hold on to people, or trust issues that was passed down through your trauma, understand that it all can be healed. Okay, I'm not a therapist, but I do recommend that you guys, if you have insurance, especially if you're in California, well, if you have any kind of Obamacare style insurance, because one thing Obama did, one of the good things he did do was add mental health. If you have insurance, you probably have access to licensed therapists. You know, you have Kendall, the hypnotherapist that I use, that I have my own sessions with. You know, I do offer card readings, so understand there's King Simon, people like King Simon with numerology, and Lloyd Strayhorn. There are astrologers out there. You know, there are all these different things, tarot card readers, people, spiritualists. Everybody has an aspect on healing. There's the church if need be. If your comfort zone is in church, then and you feel comfortable at your church, then you where you need to be. I may talk crap about churches sometimes because it's funny, but understand that you're bigger than your trauma, you're bigger than your experiences, and whatever experiences you went through, if they have you now at a crossroads in life to where you are stuck, to where you feel a certain way and it's not right, understand that you can get past it, okay? You can heal your trauma. With that being said, let me know if any of y'all want any kind of a read on your situation. But before I get there, I was just going through, I was thinking about like different people out there, and I saw one of my followers, Devin Haley. I saw her page, and I saw this quote from Marlon Wayans. Let me see here. Again, we won't be long here today. I just, coming with something I want to say that I think can possibly help somebody that's going through something right now. If you look on here, Marlon Wayans talks about the death of his mother, and God forbid, I know that day is gonna come. It comes for all of us, but I haven't experienced that with my mom yet, so I'm not about to sit here and act like I've been through that. But in this article somewhere, I don't quite remember. I thought I had it bookmarked. Marlon goes in and talking about, here it is. He said he never got married right here. I never got married because I never wanted my mother to be jealous of a woman. I never wanted my mother to feel second to any woman. I want to talk about that statement for a little bit, because in my years doing relationship counseling and stuff like that, and just working with people, us men, a lot of men have, we're mama's boys. A lot of men are mama, and there's nothing wrong with being a mama's boy. But a lot of men have a bond that sometimes gets in the way of their relationships with their women. I want fellas to understand that you can get married and be with a woman and still have all the love in the world for your mom. You shouldn't have to feel like it's one or the other. And if you're a parent and you putting your son or your daughter, you putting somebody in that situation, is very unfair. Because how at the end of the day can somebody choose against mama? You know what I mean? At the end of the day, how can somebody choose against their own mom? So when it comes to a lot of the mothers out there, I would see this a lot when I coach basketball. You know, a lot of moms that had a tough time letting go. Understand that your sons, they're made to let go. They got to experience things, and your daughters, they got to experience things on their own. You can't coddle them into their 20s and their 30s. It's not going to work out well for them as far as in their relationship space. Okay? In that relationship space, you gotta, how can I say this? Leave room. Daughters, a lot of daughters I've seen over the years, very, 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 I've had more, too many times as that it doesn't make me uncomfortable, but I see a lot of moms that are jealous of their daughters. Seen that a lot. We cannot have a healthy family unit if parents are competing with their children. Dads living vicariously through their son's basketball AAU team. Moms jealous of daughters because you don't have the. She now has a shape that you once had, and she's now getting the attention you used to get. I've seen a lot of parents and children have these scuffles. And you got to ask yourself, is it worth it? We only got one time around on this earth with our parents, children, nieces, nephews, brothers, and sisters. Is that competition? Is you riding your children so hard to where you break a relationship with them? Is that worth it? I remember one of my business mentors, a Jewish man. He and his son, I used to do mortgage. I used to work for him and his son's mortgage company, and me and him ended up developing. The father ended up developing a very close relationship all the way through death, up until Al died in 2018. I mean, we would talk. Sometimes we would have 2-hour long conversations. Sometimes, hell, Larry would be over the house when Al would come by. You know, we talk, and I'll give it to him straight about race, about what's going on. He'd give it to me straight about economics and how to, you know, rise above and get through things. Because everybody got their dramas and traumas no matter what race they are. But I remember him and his son. They worked together, and they fell out soon after I left the company. I left the company in 2009, 2010. Not too much longer after that, they fell out over money. And I think they tried to force one Christmas, like Hanukkah, together 3 or 4 years later, but it didn't go well. But really, all the way, I saw his son when he went to go see his father, Al, on his deathbed, because I was going to go see him too on his deathbed. And I saw his son was walking out as I was walking in. And I hadn't seen his son Ron in damn near 10 years before that. And I saw the look on his face. And I remember after Al passed away, asking his wife, did they ever reconcile? And she said, no, not really. And it made sense because I saw the look on that man's face, as you knew, and all of us knew that was probably the last time we were going to see him. And I remember asking myself, thinking myself, damn, that's never happened between me and my father and me and my mother. And God willing, I'll never allow it to happen between me and my mother and my father. But at the same time, other people have different dramas and traumas that they got to work through. I'm not one to tell you how you shouldn't interact with your parents, because there's some fucked up parents out there, for real, for real. So I ain't want to tell you what to do and what not to do when it comes to that. But this particular situation here was over money. Both men still were wealthy when it was over with. Neither went to the poorhouse. They both had, I don't know how much money they worth, but they both lived in neighborhoods that I wish I could afford to live in, and nobody I know could afford to live in outside of 2 or 3 people I know. But I remember the fallout being over money, and it was a misunderstanding over money. And thinking like, if I ever got a chance to have a microphone in front of people, I would always say, man, don't let pettiness get in the way. I know one thing, me personally, I still have 2 living parents, but one thing that I live by with both my living parents, I listen to a lot of y'all that you guys of parents have passed on. I get a lot of people that be hitting me up saying like, damn, if I wish I could do this, I wish I could. And so me personally now, since my parents are still here, I do it. You know, I make sure to make that call. Make sure to make that visit. If your parents are here too, if there's any way you can do it and can afford to mend that relationship, please do. Because I've been the counselor, not just with this situation I'm telling you about now, but I've been the counselor too many times, dozens, more times than I could count, put it like that, on being the person that people came to talk to when it went the other direction. So just know that whatever it is, it can be healed. Now, it's a lot of y'all out there that got parents that have done things, because at the end of the day, the parent controls the dynamic between children and parents. And you have some parents out there that have been so cruel, that have done or allowed to be done to you the unforgivable, whatever that may be. In that situation, some of you guys out there are never going to mend relationship with your parents. I've seen that too. Not because you don't want to, but because that person may not be in the place for it to happen. Or you may not be in a place for that to happen, or a combination of both. This situation is when you got to really focus on healing yourself. Healing yourself. Got to heal yourself. Sometimes the relationship dynamic between you, your mom, and your dad is too far gone. You can't, if that's your situation, unfortunately, you still cannot allow that situation to dictate and rule your life. You got to find a way to heal from it. Yeah, holding anger can give you cancer. Yeah. In the chat, yeah, holding anger can give you cancer. And it can stunt your development too. I'm not sure if that's when you made that comment, Infinite One Lives, but it also does stunt your development. You got to find a way to look past it, get through it, go around it, go under it, do something with it. Don't allow it to sit there and dictate your life. You got to play your cards. So, whatever your card is, we all have challenges, and your cards also show you ways to get through, past, over, around your challenges. And you want to go further into that, you can book a session for me at breakthroughcards.com. I also have my relationship reports that I'll be giving that are $50 for one, and these are 45-page comprehensive reports on your personality. We also have singles reports, relationship reports, and it's basically overall reports about you and how you operate. And these things can go a long way into your healing. Very long way into your healing. As you can see here on the report side of the game, These are very, very deep. Your outlooks and ways that you can work with yourself to heal yourself. You know, or you could just seek counseling, seek a therapist, go to a friend, go to a cousin, go to somebody you trust. Go to them and just don't hold it in. Because what you don't want to become is, you don't want to become that, these people that we see online that are just bitter and angry. Because if you become bitter and angry and you allow bitterness and anger to control you, it's only going to hurt you. So you can choose bitterness and anger. That's fine. I ain't telling you what you should do or not. It ain't my business. This is me just talking about from a point of view of, if you want to get over things and have more clean mental health. People, one thing I hate people all the time is they all say mental health. Well, what is mental health? How do you fix it? How do you deal with it? People like mental health. Mental health has like been a buzzword since the pandemic. But outside of saying mental health, how many platforms dedicate their time into showing you how to help your mental health? Now, I can't necessarily fault them for not doing it. Look at the numbers. Look at the numbers. You can see the numbers here yourself, whether you're on YouTube or Twitter. The numbers for us content creators aren't there when it comes to this particular topic. But from my point of view, certain topics are bigger than numbers. Especially if I get something on my spirit that says somebody needs to hear this. It's bigger than numbers. Appreciate that, Wreak Havoc. Appreciate that. Appreciate the encouragement, because these are not the topics for numbers. But everything to me don't equal a number. There's a spirit and there's a heart connection that means more than numbers. But let me know if you want to talk about it, or if you or any comments you may have. I'm not gonna be here too long, but call in 323-744-7425. 323-744-7425. Because, and if you don't want to call it, because this is a sensitive topic, I get it. But I do want to talk about this and leave it up there for you guys, because this is a very important topic. And tonight on Patreon and also on Twitter, we're going to have healing sessions through music. We're going to play some music tonight. About 8:30 Pacific time. But about 8:30 Pacific time. We're going to play some music that's going to heal your heart. But tonight I just want to talk about, right now I just want to talk about dealing with it. Confront your dramas, confront your traumas. If you keep running into the same issues over and over in relationships with people, there are probably certain mother or father issues that you're dealing with, like a lot of us are. The only way to get over it, the only way to handle it, is to confront it head on. You got to confront it head on. Because if you bury your head in the sand, it ain't going to work. It ain't going to work. Oh, and make sure you go to intellectualpower.net. Intellectualpower.net. Get yours right now, 10% off with the product code D Brown. And then And we also have peace pads. Both links are in the description. Peace pads and intellectual power. Oh yeah, for sure, Mister. Yeah, we're gonna have some music tonight. I wanted to come on here today with a quick message, just of encouragement of, and let's talk about one more thing about, okay, your parents are gone. I've dealt with this also in my years of experience. Say your parents are gone and you didn't get to apologize or you didn't hear their apology. Understand that just like you playing your cards out, every other parent is playing their cards out. And sometimes, unfortunately, they have children in the middle of them working out their cards in their confusion. And they have children that end up taking the brunt and dealing with a lot of trauma from that relationship. That happens too. In that situation, from my observation of people who've dealt with that the most, you don't just get over it, but you do allow it to be. If it's now out of your control, find a way in your spirit to be okay with it. And I'm not saying that's easy, but whatever happened or didn't happen, happened or didn't happen for a reason. And whatever it is, you cannot allow that to control how you play your cards the rest of your life. All right? Your parents are still with you. Your ancestors are still with you. That's why I do my work when it comes to music. And I don't mind offending people when they talk about ancestors, and no disrespect, but ancestors in Africa. No. Your greatest ancestors are the ones that you knew. Your most powerful ancestors are the ones that knew you and you knew. The ones that you can call their name and it rings a bell, it gives you a feeling. Those are your most powerful ancestors. So if you have parents in the ancestral realm, you got a teammate on the other side that's there for you, that's more powerful for you to use, for you to access and tap into than someone you never knew. Although someone you never knew lives through you and their blood lives through you, it's the ones that were here most recently, the ones that we know the most recent. They're the ones that truly have a power. Make sure you talk to them. Commune with them. Take a trip with them. All right? That makes sense, people? Let me see. What's Marlon Wayans' birthday? July 23rd. I want to go into his relationship dynamic with his mom before I get out of here. He said he never got married. Because 1972. July 23rd. 23. He's a 5 of clubs. Marlon Wayans is a 5 of clubs. Let me see what his mom's card is so I can check their dynamics. He's a 5 of clubs. see here. Elvira Wayans. Her birthday was what, January 4th? No. Oh, his birthday. Oh, they had the same. Let me see here. They got the same birthday. Ah. Ah, ha, 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 ha. I see why their dynamic was the way it was. They got the same birthday. They're both 5 of clubs. Oh, yeah. So Marlon and his mom were extremely close. That's why I try not to judge, because you never know what cards people are playing with. 5 of clubs. That's the 31st card. 31 plus 31 is 62. 62 minus 52 is 9. So they had a 9 of hearts relationship. Marlon and his mom, going back to the article I read earlier about Marlon Wayans and his mom, their relationship was the 9 of hearts. Crazy, because we're the 9 of hearts here. That's the card of heartbreak. I can see why he was so terrified. But one thing, if I were able to talk to him while she was still living, I would have told him that that's a fear that he can get over. It's a tough fear for him to get over, but him getting over it, it would have required him to get past that to really find the true love that he wanted. And it still might be there for him. But that's a very tough dynamic to deal with between parents. It's a 9 of hearts. That's a tough dynamic. It's like through reading cards, you can see why someone's dynamic is the way it is. And you also see the steps on how to fix it. So just understand that, hey, happy Mother's Day to everybody here. Pro Surfer Ways, appreciate it. But wow, I'm seeing they got the same card, 9 of hearts. You can see why Marlon had that type of relationship with his mom. Very easy to see once you look into the cards. All right. But with that being said, I'm not going to be here all day. We're going to come back later on, listen to some music, and heal ourselves, all right? We're going to listen to some music, and we're going to heal ourselves. Can you dig it? Can you dig it? So look for that, our live music, to be here on Twitter. Also, it's going to stay up on Patreon, but it will be live on Twitter and Mixcloud and Patreon. All right? Patreon, I will give you guys a Mixcloud link because I don't know if I want to give you guys a YouTube link. YouTube been tripping. But the whole show will be uploaded to Patreon once it's all done and recorded, all right? All right? Thank y'all again for listening. Remember, there are no perfect messengers. Only perfect messages for those willing to pick up the game. Heal yourself. You can heal from all the trauma. You can heal from the BS. But you got to be willing to take the step. And the hardest part is taking the first 2 steps. After that, it gets easier. I promise you. All right? Thank y'all again for listening. I appreciate y'all for being here on a non-salacious mental health, mental affirming show. I appreciate everybody that's here. Y'all the real ones. All right? We out.